Hello, everybody. It's Tuesday evening. Um, Home Depot and Lowe's are in the news. I don't know when Lowe's reported, but Home Depot, I think, reported this morning,
Home Depot is next Tuesday.
next Tuesday.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, we're down. I think the options kind of priced this one correctly. Those 380, 280 puts were 350, let's say, at the close, which would put this below 277.
Mhm.
So even though we got to 277, that's where we kind of stopped. Um, so if you were in puts based on the app or based on anything yesterday at the close, you needed to kind of sell those near the open or within 10 minutes of the open. Um, And that's usually what happens after an event. Options try to price in an event, and as soon as that event goes away, or as soon as that uncertainty goes away, that theta, or I don't even know what to call it, but that price, that dollar amount, whatever they're putting on those, that volatility, whatever they're putting on that event, that gets sucked out of the option prices. Um, I was talking with someone this morning, and said, I don't really know what it's going to do, but I kind of expect this to happen because shortly, so this is 8:30, 8:35, well, let's say 9:40. So the last 15 minutes of the first 30 minutes of open, Home Depot rallied, and I saw this huge topping candle or this huge wick basically signaling that even though buyers pushed it up to let me see if I can move this, 280, six-ish. They couldn't hold that. So I kind of waited for this topping. And then, you know, I even made a note to say, okay, buy the 280 puts at 195, which is right around here. And I saw them go up towards $3. Um, but I expected us to continue to drop when we kind of just stayed flat or kind of held that. Um, The interesting thing that I don't quite understand, and I don't know what it plays for tomorrow, um, is that, we were watching the put call volume or the put call ratio continue to rise. It was 1.4 at the open, meaning for every call, there was 1.4 puts bought. At the close of today, that put call ratio is 1.78. Um, So even though we had somewhat of a recovery in Home Depot, people are still buying puts. Um, I actually, let me see if I can find it. Um, the interesting thing, or the thing that I don't understand, and I didn't look into it, is this: home builder sentiment pulls out of negative territory for the first time in nearly a year. I don't get that. I don't understand why and maybe I'm too bearish on the home builder, buying a new home kind of environment. Um, because I would hate to be a new home buyer right now. Um, Prices are ridiculous still. Um, you can't get a starter home under 300 or so grand, which is crazy. My next door neighbor in 10 years doubled his money. I think he bought his home for 150 and sold it for just over 300. Um, so like I said, I think the home builder market is ridiculous. And maybe if I have time, I'll look into that home builder sentiment because I don't really know what it's measuring or where it's, when they say it's pulling out of negative territory, this is what it's doing. Um, So the app is still showing puts. This is the day, and I saw Alan's post this morning where he posted the Android version, and the Android version breaks out, you know, the day's volume versus the, excuse me, versus the last 10 minutes. So I think I need to incorporate something like that into this. I'll put it on the list. And what, oh, excuse me. I was telling Alan I'm calling it allergies because I don't want to call it a cold. But I have this like cough kind of thing going on. So anyway, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I don't know if we'll see Alan. I don't know. Last night I saw he was driving. Um, Alan, I don't know if Alan played Home Depot, but I know he played Lowe's, which is basically a sister trade to Home Depot. And Alan kind of looked at or saw this option volume mismatch, if you want to call it, or heavily weighted to the put side. You know, Alan saw this yesterday and kind of telegraphed that out. Let me go back and share.
You know what? You know what I base the drop on? I don't care what they say. Is that my local Home Depot and Lowe's, you can't even buy a tool because they got them padlocked behind a cage. No, you can't even buy a hammer. I mean, is it really got that bad that, you know? So the thing is, you know, their sales are going to be affected by that. I mean,
Right.
I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to go online and buy it. So
Yeah, right, exactly. Hey, there's Alan.
home professional rep to go that has the key, which that's impossible to find. Then after you find someone with a key, then they got to go ahead and open it up, get you the tool you need. I don't see anybody buying tools or saws or sawzalls or power tools. I don't see any of that anymore. And
Yeah.
so I kind of base that on there, and then I actually talked and I said to him, I said, I don't understand. I said, they got people coming from all over the place, showing up here, stuffing their shopping carts, walking out the door, and we can't stop them. I'm like,
Jeez.
what kind of like crazy? I mean, it's bizarre to me, you know, that that this is where we're at now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So I
crazy.
was kind of basing it on that. Plus, the thing is that I did figure that your high ticket items. I mean, you listen to the anybody in the financial world, they're telling you that there's a 22% slowdown. Warren Buffett said that his trains are down 22% in terms of transporting goods to market. So it's just, and he said in some markets it's down 30%. So I
Yeah.
just figured that this is what we're seeing. I had a very soft first quarter. I figured everybody else did. So I just figured, you know, that's where we were at here. So, and then the thing is I come up with an idea. I check the options volumes. You got to have 3 legs of a trade. If you don't have 3 legs, you got no trade because you got to have the hammer. You got to have in the money. You got where it's going to flow to. I knew Lowe's was going to flow to 195. So I doubled down pretty high on the 200 puts. I wish I had put more money into it, but I mean, you know, sometimes you know, they can rally, and you saw it this morning. Now I'm gonna tell you something right now. Lowe's has got its earnings on Tuesday. You know Lowe's should drop. Now I don't know if I'd play Lowe's, you know, for the drop on Tuesday. Maybe I'd do Home Depot because sometimes it has a way of reversing. I guarantee you Friday should be a bad day for Lowe's. If you play the weeklies, should be a really good play. But yeah, that's one of my better trades was Lowe's, and then I'm glad that Lowe's didn't drop for a second time, and the but the put volumes were high. They went high the whole day, and they even went extremely high that last half hour. But the stock didn't drop, so I knew that there was buybacks going on from the company.
Well, and you kind of wonder
So
if that signals for tomorrow or for the rest of the week that the Lowe's and the Home Depots are going to continue to drop for those put buyers.
I don't think they are. I mean, you look what you saw today. You had the worst earnings in 20 years on Home Depot, and Home Depot went from a $12 to $14 drop, and they rallied back almost $7 before the market opened. That is pretty rare. That when you can have the worst quarter in 20 years and to go ahead and have the stock go ahead and bring back 50% of its pre-market drop.
Right.
That was the telltale that's why I sold in that first 10 minutes. I mean, I'm like, I know there's no way it's going to hold down. Well, I didn't expect Lowe's to get back to 199 too. You know, but it definitely was in the calls. I was actually, I think it was the 201 or 202 calls for a short period, but I wouldn't hold it overnight. You don't know what's going to happen. But I expect Home Depot and Lowe's to have a good week. And then Friday, I think you're going to see a big drop going into the Lowe's earnings.
Yeah, and this is Lowe's sitting right under 200 at 199.26. So let's look at the 3-month on that one.
They have some resistance there. What did it finish at?
199.22. It's up a little bit in after hours. Let's see here.
To my knowledge, 199.50 was the low of the day yesterday. So it's got some strength there. I was playing it yesterday and I sold at 199.50, and I knew I got a really nice return. And then when I saw that thing go up back up to 201.50, I was doing a happy dance. Yeah. So I'm like, wow, you played that like a genius, but it was just kind of just going by what I was seeing on the charts. But then the thing is I was able to get the 201.50s and get the 200 puts at a very attractive price. And I was playing to go to 195 from the put volumes. And so it went to plan. But they released the earnings too early. I think they released it at 7:30 or 8, and then sure enough, by 8:30, even Lowe's was 195.04, and then it was at 196.87. I think it opened.
Yeah.
So that's telltale. Yeah, that's the angle that the stock's going to go in. Don't you got to see what it does in pre-market. If it can go ahead and rally that much. But the key thing is that I found in general, there was no volatility in the Lowe's options. I mean, it was priced really cheap. You're always better to go ahead and do the sister company if you can. Because I guarantee if I played Home Depot, we were talking earlier in the conversation, I wish Brian would have taped it, or maybe did in the beginning, is that if you played the Home Depot puts, you would have lost money.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We talked about the 350.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you got to understand, there are market makers on the other side that are pricing these options. If they do their jobs correctly, they're going to price in that volatility. And I think this Lee and I that were talking, we looked back at Home Depot, and I think so. Let's see, where's February? This drop right here, this was a 3.7% drop. So when I looked at it, I think, I'm trying to think of the math, because I think it was like today or yesterday, they closed at, let's say 290. I think it was 277, maybe 276. So they were kind of pricing in that 3.7 or whatever 4% drop. And, it never got there. So yeah, the market makers for Home Depot
Oh,
kind
it
of,
did. No, it did get there in pre-market.
well, true. Yeah, but
No,
pre-market means
pre-market
nothing.
was down almost $14.
Yeah,
It
but
was most bizarre thing I've ever seen. That
if you look at this
how
candle,
they rallied that fast.
yeah, I don't know if someone could do the math. Let's see, 286, 277, so 10. I mean, this candle is just, these wicks on both ends are just ridiculous. And this isn't even pre-market, I don't think. I don't think Fidelity takes into account pre-market on their daily. Um,
I don't think so.
so,
I was only watching this.
and
I was, waiting for the earnings to come out to see how to play the trade.
yeah, and you got to remember, pre-market means nothing for option buyers. You can't go out and sell your options in pre-market just because the stock is down. Um, so
You
yeah,
know you can't.
so yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. And like I said, it's and like you mentioned, it's either they baked in the earnings or there's something stock buyback, something that pushed this stock more than it probably should have be if you were just looking at earnings. Because they didn't, and they yesterday I was thinking, I'm like, well, okay, maybe Home Depot's gonna come out and say, well, we had a bad quarter, but the spring and the summer should, people should start working on their yards, start working on their houses, which should increase our earnings. I half expected them to be more positive on their outlook than they were. I mean, they even said, we have to drop our overall yearly outlook because this quarter was as bad as it was. So um, for this, I think this stock held up much better than I think it should have. Um,
Oh my
so
God, it didn't even go down that much.
yeah,
You wouldn't even know
right,
it was earnings, really.
right, exactly, yeah. So yeah, okey doke. I think that's all I have. Um, and it's funny because I was talking with Lee this morning or chatting with him, and I'm like, I kept thinking to myself, okay, I got to work on work, and I just enjoyed the conversation probably more than I should because I don't get paid to be, trading the stock market. I get paid to do my work, and I should be concentrating on work. But so long story short, I'd love it when you guys reach out. Um, ask for my opinion. I wouldn't put much stock in my opinion, but I'll give it to you. I'll show you what I see, or base tell you what I base my thoughts on. Um, so yeah, if you'd like, feel free to reach out to me. Um, you know, I think this group is here to kind of help each other and use Alan's wisdom as much as possible. Um, so yeah, any parting comments, Alan?
Well, I got my makings of the Millionaire Mind shirt on.
Oh yeah.
Me and Brian went to that in San Antonio. It's coming up on Memorial Weekend that they're doing it again Friday, Saturday. As of right now, I plan on going to that. It's a great event. I like to help out, give my story, kind of give my insights. If you get a chance to go to that, go to Daniel Gomez Inspires and just put in there. I think it's favored, and then you'll get a discount. It's a great event. They got 3 world-class speakers. Um, Basically, all these people are going to tell you how they got to that, $1 million mark. I love their stories. Basically, every one of them was broke at one time. I love it when someone goes from that. They weren't given the money. So that's always a good story. So
Yeah.
hit me up in private messenger, San Antonio area if you're going to go to the event. But I totally encourage you to go to the Making the Millionaire Mind. It's kind of what changed my trajectory years ago. I went to Harv Ecker's Millionaire Mind. And the thing is what I learned is if you can change your mind, you can change your outlook. If you change your outlook, you can change direction. You can change your direction, you can change your finances. It really, it's really that's how it works. Because if you keep the same mindset, you'll keep the same where you're at in life. So
Right, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, Alan and I went to the inauguration, the inaugural one, his first ever last.
Yeah, we had a blast. We had a blast.
Yeah, that we did. I don't know. Alan got me drunk
Who knows?
and
Maybe we should say drunk. Yeah, one beer you
yeah,
got drunk.
Alan got me drunk and did a what was there? Shelley Forbes did a Shelley Forbes on me, or I can't think of her first name. So yeah, no, and it was two actually. So it wasn't one, it was two. So
Okay. Yeah.
those, yeah,
Who's
those
Shelley
German.
Forbes?
Um,
Oh, we
isn't
went
that?
to HP.
Yeah, and those beers, yeah, those German, yeah, the German beers. So yeah.
Yeah, I like those a lot. They're right on the Riverwalk there. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, San
yeah,
Antonio
that's
and
a
the
good time.
Riverwalk. So yeah, if you have the opportunity, definitely look into that. Definitely look into the Millionaire Mind Bootcamp that Daniel Gomez puts on.
Yeah, it's a good camp. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll go ahead and be surprised when Brian Dunwoody's here.
There you go. I have to, yeah, I don't know, figure out how to do that. I'll teleport down there. Oh yeah. I do owe Daniel a call.
Yeah.
I must admit I do owe him a call. So anyway, I gotta run. You gotta run. Hopefully hopefully you guys got something out of this. Thanks for everybody. Thanks for your support. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah.
Bye everyone.
All right.